Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So I'm coming to you today to give you an update as to what I've been going through the past week or so. Maybe a little bit more, but it's really this past week that's been pretty eventful for me on a spiritual level, okay? First thing I want to say is that I'm here with you. I understand, okay? Because this is a big day for us in this country, and I personally feel for the entire world, it really is. It's a big day, okay? And I'm sure, there's a lot of anxiety. I'm sure there's a lot of preparation for the worst, hopes for the best. There's a lot in the air as far as today goes, because it is election day. But I do want to offer my support and my love because regardless of what the outcome is, we have some stuff that we need to get through, okay? Because we're going through this big transformation, and it has been and will continue to be destructive in many ways. But as you know, when it comes to transformation, that is a part of transformation. It happens on an individual level, where when we're going through a transformation, there's a lot of parts of us that are destroyed. Even if we are not fully aware of when it's happening, it's still happening. It's just that when you're in a country and you have a large group of people, it's a lot more obvious as to when things come up for acknowledgement and for healing and for clearing, so we can have a good foundation to build on, because there's a lot that needs to be cleared and just rebuilt. Pretty much we need to start from scratch, and it's very important for us to go through this process. We're not going to be able to avoid it, I feel. It's just something that we need to experience, and it is for the best, regardless of what seemingly negative things take place over next few days, weeks, months. We don't know how long stuff like that will last, because we don't know where people's heads are at. So I'm just offering my love and support to you. Just know that it will be okay, okay? It is for the best, okay? But so I want to get to the main reason why I'm making this video. And like I said, is to give you an update as to the stuff that has happened within the past week. And I think you'll find it interesting because, well, first of all, this recent full moon was just incredibly powerful. I felt during the full moon, I felt more intensity and almost like a numbness because it was so intense and overwhelming. But then once the energy of the full moon started to subside, that's when I really started to feel like, okay, I'm ready to release this. I'm ready to forgive this event or forgive myself. I'm ready to transmute a certain issue. It was when the energy really started to subside that I started to feel like, okay, I'm ready to start letting things go. During, it was a little bit too much. I could hardly sleep, and it was in my sign. So it was a lot. But I hope you're doing well as a result of these energies. So now within this past week, I had a lot of galactic experiences, which I found interesting because I noticed that, I don't know if it's me, if it's like where I'm at in my journey when it comes to my star family, but my star family kind of pops in and out when needed. And typically they pop in and out during pivotal times of transformation for myself. So if I'm going through a very strong upgrade, they'll come in. They may give me a boost of energy. They may give me a message. They may show me something to help me along the way. So they're definitely not a set of guides that kind of like are up under me. I feel like they come and go when the time is right. And I feel like it's like that for a lot of guides, but I feel like angels, in my opinion, are a little bit more accessible. I feel like they're there as soon as you call them. Like there's no delay. But I feel like with star beings, with star guides, I feel like timing seems to be very important. Because I honestly, I feel like for a lot of star guides, they don't come in when it's unnecessary. Not to say that they don't want to help you, but I do feel that there are certain times where the energy is a perfect match. So you may need something specifically from them, and that's why they come through to help. So that's what I've noticed about them. This past week, the first interaction that I had was actually with the Arcturian energy. Now, this is something that has emerged a little bit later for me. Like, I started to feel it within the past 2 years. So it's more of a more recent energy that I've been sensing. And I started to feel it stream through me a few years ago. But this past week, I was feeling like, and this is why it's so important for you to pay attention to how you feel and what you feel like doing, because I felt guided to sit in my sacred space, to really listen to certain kinds of music, and that put me in the right space to be able to receive this energy. So when I was on my way to bed, I felt the energy start to shift. I'm like, okay, because I was feeling like, okay, I feel like there's some sort of starry, the stellar energy that's trying to connect with me. So when I was on my way to bed, I really started to feel it. And what I saw was this beautiful pink. It was like, not this kind of pink, this is like salmon pink. It was almost like a fuchsia pink. I also associate that energy with that color, besides the golden orange, with Archangel Metatron. That's my personal color, what I associate with Archangel Metatron. So I saw that energy, that this pink, and it was almost sparkly. It had sparkles to it. And then what I saw was like this figure. It's kind of hard to describe, but it was like a white light. And then through the white light, there were different beams that came down from this ball of light. And underneath each beam was a figure, like a being. And I feel like there were about 4 or 5 of them. And I was like sitting with the energy. I'm like, where are these energies coming from? Because I knew they were more star energies. And what I heard was Arcturian, okay? So I was sitting in the energy. I felt like I was seeing different, like I was seeing a galaxy, and I was seeing all these different things. And then I received a message from them. And the message came through when I was kind of in and out of like going into the first stage of sleep. So I had to really pay attention to it once I kind of got up. And the message was, religion has a lot to do with your fears. So I was like, oh, interesting. And there are certain things, like I've been working on a lot of this, myself, and working through my personal limits. And there are certain fears that I'm still working through. So that provided a lot of clarity for me, for them to say, it's really religion. I didn't grow up as a religious person, but I do feel that we live in a Judeo-Christian country in the United States. It's just so embedded. It's so embedded in our culture that it's really hard to separate ourselves from it. So if we have certain fears, related to spirituality, our ability to connect to the etheric realms, our sense of identity, our connection with the more mundane aspects of life, whether it be, could be our connection to money, our sexuality, things like that. Those fears can be rooted, can find its roots in religion, depending on who you are. So for me, that provided a lot of clarity. It's like, so that gives me something to work with as far as those fears are concerned. Okay. Now, the next day, I felt another energy come in. Also a very starry energy, and it was the same thing. I felt guided to sit in my sacred space, listen to certain kinds of music, and I felt my heart really open up. Okay, I really felt my heart open up. And the day that I was experiencing this, I was a little bit down. I felt like I've been going through something specifically. I've been processing some emotions and feelings about our current experience, the political climate and everything. And I'm going to post a blog on that tomorrow, so you can read it, as you can see what I've been feeling. But that energy where my heart opened, I could sense it was the Pleiadian energy. So when I sat in that energy and I allowed myself to connect to it, I felt the sense of home, and I felt the sense of like camaraderie, friendship, like, like we're here for you. You're not by yourself. So even though you're feeling like things are just kind of upside down for you right now and you're kind of alone, you really aren't. We're really here for you. So I really felt a sense of friendship and family from them. And it was really nice. And it really comforted me, and it helped me to feel better about the way I was feeling, and then also just, my overall experience on that day. So when I went to bed, again, I felt myself kind of like the energy started to shift and I was having visions. Now, it's hard for me to explain exactly what I saw as far as the Pleiadian energy goes. The energy was more of a deep blue, but I was seeing, I don't know if it was like corridors, but I felt like I was seeing, I don't know if it was a temple. It was something like that. Nothing that you would see on Earth, though. So it wasn't like an Earth temple. It was like some sort of out there in the universe temple. And what I was shown was issues that I have within my heart space related to trust. Okay. So that was also very helpful. I feel that each of these experiences through the Pleiadian energy as well as the Arcturian energy were there to help me with processing stuff that I feel like I'm reaching the end of, and it's time to start completely releasing these things, like getting the lesson and then fully releasing them. So now, now I'm trying to remember if this was before or after. The next day I felt something also kind of starry, but it wasn't as potent as the first two. This one felt a little bit more fluid. It felt more peaceful, relaxing. The first two were very like, the Arcturian especially was like really intense. Pleiadian was very strong, heart-centered. This felt more like soul level, like very fluid and peaceful, calming. I personally felt it was the Sirian energy. Okay, so I connected to that. This one didn't have a very strong, like, it didn't give me a very strong experience, which is fine. That's not, I don't care. But it was nice to connect to. It felt very relaxing. Now, later on that week, I was sitting in my sacred space. I do that pretty much every night. Whether I meditate or I just sit and listen to music, I'm always sitting in my sacred space every night. And when I was there, I was like, let me do one of those those things, where you have like several pictures that zoom by pretty fast and you have to take a screenshot and you see like, okay, what angel is with you? What guide is with you? I did that. And typically in order to stop the thing from moving, you have to tap the screen. But I didn't get a chance to do that because the screen froze, okay? And the screen actually froze on Saint Germain. And I thought that was really interesting because I couldn't get the screen to work for like, I don't know if it was like a full minute or so. I was trying to get the screen to come off. It just wasn't working. But as I was looking at this image, I was like, this energy is trying to tell me something. There's a reason why the screen got stuck. There's a reason why I feel like this energy is penetrating through me. It's because it's trying to reach out to me. So I have this purification spray that is energized to resonate with the violet flame. So I used that spray, and I was also guided to use amethyst. And as I was going to sleep, I felt guided to call in the violet flame. Now, I've done this before, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen very strong results from it in the past. And that is because I know a lot of people say that the violet flame is good for transmutation, it's good for clearing, it's good for this, it's good for that. But I do not feel the violet flame will release from you anything that you are not ready to release. And it's not to say you're not being ready in terms like you can't handle what comes after, but there could be a lesson that you're still learning that it's still serving a purpose for you. So anything that's still serving a purpose in your life is not going to be released. Even if it's not pleasant, there's still something that you need to gain from the experience before it's cleared. So that's why I feel like maybe in the past, I was still working on some stuff. So maybe that's why it didn't clear anything, because let me tell you, when I went to bed and I called in the violet flame, I felt this energy just move in me. It was like, you know, something feels like it's in your muscles and your bones. It was like that deep. And it was from that point on that I started to feel like a big shift. And I started to feel myself releasing stuff on a really deep level. And it was a beautiful thing to experience, I have to admit. So I did learn a bit when it comes to working with these rays of light, when it comes to working with these tools of purification, is that, you know, you have to know how they work, you know, because sometimes they may not work the same way each and every time, because every day your energy is going to be different. So you have to work based on where you're at when it comes to these things. Trying to see if there's anything else I wanted to, whatever I wanted to share before, like at the end of this week, when it came to like the full moon, I already shared that. So I hope you all had a happy Halloween. Welcome to the month of November. I have another video that I want to post, and it's going to be an angel series video. I'm not going to tell you who I'm going to be working with because I like to keep it secret until I actually post the video. I like surprises. But I'll be posting an angel video soon, okay? So stay tuned. I send you all my love and my gratitude, and let me know in the comments what star energies you connect with the most, who you feel most drawn to and why. If you don't know why, that's fine. You don't have to know. But let me know down in the comments who you connect to or what you connect to the most. Okay? So I send you all so much love and gratitude. Take care. Bye-bye.